Hello, I'm Andrew, and this is Teen Talk Politics, and I'm back again with my co-host Sam. And today we're just going to be going over the week news like we normally do every Friday. This week, there's literally nothing. We had the bombing in Afghanistan, which that's a big deal. However,
There's a lot of big things, but not that much small things.
Well, compared to last week where you had the whole situation in Afghanistan, which is still happening right now. However, we've already covered it, so I feel like it would be very repetitive to be doing a whole episode on that again. There's a small segment about it that we're going to talk about, and that's about the bombing. It happened only a few hours before this recording, and it was a bombing in Kabul's airport and also one hotel right next to the airport. This was a suicide bombing, and this was also performed by a terrorist act that most people refer to as ISIS, that also was in charge of 9/11, that killed thousands of people. So, Sam, do you have any thoughts on the bombing that happened just a few hours ago?
Yeah, it's a very big shock. And it was almost to be expected. There was extremely U.S. intelligence reporting someone was having these Afghan fighters, Taliban fighters, sorry, not Afghan. They've been not too secret about that. But anyway, to continue, I think that sorry that the Afghanistan situation is really just sad that people are resorting to this such fighting and that there's nothing really we can do about it. The U.S. troops have withdrew, and Biden doesn't intend on extending the deadline. And there's not much anyone can do. We're screwed over our heads right now, and so until we get everyone out, it's just pure chaos. And so it's really tragic for this stuff to be happening, even though we know that it's all going downhill eventually.
Right, and earlier Biden has been given some advice and basically just some information from his Department of uh, Defense saying, okay, get all your Americans, all other Afghan troops, get them out of the gates at the airport because there was some talk and rumors about a bombing to happen, and eventually that did end up happening. Many people did agree, and they did move out of that areas. However, there were several people left at the scene, and many people got killed. I think it was 12. It was around that number of Americans died, and many were injured along with that.
And that's only confirmed. This is just a few short hours after the fact.
This is only confirmed, and we got those confirmed deaths an hour ago. So we're really just gonna have to see what happens. It says it'll take several hours for us to really see what actually happened, whether it was another terrorist organization, which is very unlikely. I'm pretty confident it was ISIS that was behind these attacks, but we don't know for sure yet. Maybe when this video comes out, we might know for sure. However, we're not confident yet. It's most likely ISIS. However, we cannot confirm that. So I'm assuming by the time this comes out, yes, we'll know. But just to clarify, at the time of the recording, we do not know. And this really just carries on to what happened last week with the eruption in Afghanistan where America left. Biden's getting a bunch of blame. And basically this is the next step, really, of what you come to expect with the Taliban in charge. Yes, there were attacks like this while Afghanistan had a democracy. However, that's because the Taliban was attacking. So there's not really much Afghanistan could do, regardless of whether they had a democracy or they had this coup. So Afghanistan is in a position where it's very hard for them to get back on the right track. And I think this country, for the next probably century or more, will be stuck in this situation where nobody is safe because the government involved, regardless of who the government is, there's always going to be infighting, and the citizens are going to pay the price for that. And this is just one of the many examples of when this is going to really come to fruition. There was a bombing. It killed Americans along with other Afghanistans and injured like a bunch of people. I don't know the number, but it was a bunch of people. And there was two bombs as well. One in the airport, one in a hotel. So you can imagine how many people were affected by these bombs, and that's the only mistake that they made was being born in Afghanistan. They really don't have a choice here. So there's not much I can say really, because there's not much I can tell the Taliban to do because it's the Taliban, which they have connections with ISIS, and it's really hard for America to do anything in this situation except get our people out and just hope everything goes well. America couldn't spend the rest of time in Afghanistan protecting that government. They would have to leave eventually, sorry. And Biden chose to be the president to do that. Of course, we had this long conversation last week about this, but just to recap, Biden took a lot of blame for this. And something that did come out this week is Adam Kinzinger, a representative from Illinois, said he actually blamed Trump for this because he set up Biden to fail, which is something that we talked about last week. And he is one of the few Republicans that have stood up to Trump's lies. And it's great for him to come out like this, someone from the Republican Party saying, look, yes, Biden made a mistake. However, Trump really set him up.
Mm-hmm. And he said it himself.
He admitted it in Ohio as well. So, like I said, this is just going to be one of the many times where we're going to see this, where the Taliban's effect is going to come over with many citizens that live in the capital and other places in Afghanistan. Mm-hmm. So I think we're going to be moving on to the other story for the week, and this is about the House spending bill. This is big news because the House can actually spend more money. It's a $3.5 trillion budget plan. So, Sam, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I feel like, it's probably not going to get past the Senate because of the filibuster. Oh, wait, does this...
The House resolution plan, so it's only the House.
Oh, so it's only the House. I forgot. I'm so sorry.
The House has this much money. It's a lot of money. $3.5 trillion. That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, and it's very important that this bill gets passed. I'm sorry, I don't know too much about this. It's just it just makes sense for the spending bill, so that especially after COVID, with the economy, especially in DC and the surrounding areas, of just major infrastructure, just absolutely in shambles because of COVID and recent events. I'm obviously not too educated on this subject, but it's exciting to see some progress be done. And there's obviously been some extreme government spending, but I think it's pretty obvious that they're attempting to invest in the future. It's not like they're just spending to get over with some personal needs or whatever. There's actual reason behind this.
And I think because we have progressives in charge, yes, the progressives had to work with moderate Democrats to pass this resolution, and they succeeded. And I think this amount of money can really go far because, yes, like I said, $3.5 trillion, that's a lot of money. So you can imagine what you can put into different services with $3.5 trillion. And I think it's important for Americans to know that the money that they're sending to the government is going to be coming right back to them. That $3.5 trillion, it's all tax dollars. It's going to go right back to the American people. And I just think it's a very good thing for us to have progressives in charge. Yes, you have to worry about our deficit right now. But do you think Republicans would be worrying about the deficit if they were in charge? And the answer is no. They only care about the deficit when Democrats are in charge spending money. Yep. They'll have these tax cuts, and they don't care that the deficit is going to grow by several trillion, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, frankly, frankly, as you were saying, the spending bill will come right back around and help the economy in the future. It's not doing any pain. But I think something to point out is Democrats aren't really scared of getting their hands dirty, or in this situation at least, because what are the Republicans going to do? Lash out and tell them, no, stop spending money smart money like that. Republicans are kind of forced to be a bit more conservative by their way, as you were saying, because they are, especially when Democrats in power, are very against the national debt. But so they have to be a bit more careful with their planning. But to the Democrats' advantage, they have the ability to get their hands dirty, and I feel like that plays a lot to the progressives' advantage in this situation. And it's just moving our country along, and helping actual citizens, not just the tax cuts for the rich, as you were saying, what the Republicans did.
Well, anyways, I think this is going to wrap up the episode. This is probably the shortest episode we have done and will ever do. Yeah. And this is not much. Right before we uploaded, or we started recording this, we were looking through stuff to see what we were going to put on the podcast for this week. There's literally nothing. Anyways, we'll see y'all on Tuesday. Make sure to tune in, and we'll see you then. Thank you for watching.